Hello and welcome to Euphoria. On this YouTube channel you'll find updates on my Lego city with its modular buildings, squares and little details, as well as videos on other Lego topics such as builds, ideas and techniques and my own designs. In this video we'll continue to look at the Sanctum Sanctorum building from the Lego set from 2022 and decide on the changes that I want to make to improve this building and its suitability for my Lego city. I found the Sanctum Sanctorum building to be an enjoyable build, and there are some interesting build techniques with this set, which I showed in my videos of the main steps of the build, which were the two build videos earlier in this series. When you look at the design of this building closely, you find that there are some interesting design choices and of course some compromises with the design. I looked at those as well in another video. This is the Sanctum Sanctorum building that I built from the Lego set. I enjoyed constructing this set according to the instructions, although, as you can see, I built it without adding all the Marvel minifigs flying around the building. After thinking about how to place it in my Lego city, I put it right on the main plaza in the centre of the city, so that the front of the building faced onto the square, and the lovely angled corner of the building was clearly visible. Although I built this set as it was designed, I thought of lots of ways that I might want to make changes or improvements. I made a video about some of those ideas, which were mostly around changing the size or proportions of the building or modifying the details, rather than completely changing the concept behind the design. So join me as we pick up the story of this building and I start the process of modifying it in a number of ways. In this video we'll be looking at this set again and deciding what to do in terms of modifications. And we'll be following this up with videos showing how I actually make those changes. I really enjoyed constructing this set according to the instructions, so that I was familiar with all the parts of the set and the way it's put together. This is a large set and makes a substantial building. The set has 2,708 pieces, although I had a few less pieces because I didn't have the 9 minifigs or their accessories that normally come with this set. I do love the look of this set. It looks like a really solid classical style building with its masonry walls and columns that really look like it belongs in a city centre. I love the grand entrance with the steps and the impressive double doors, and the symmetrical front facade with the windows and columns on each side. It's a full building with all the sides, and it's built so that each floor is a separate module which can be removed for access to the interior. There's some interesting play features and build options with lots of details and some clever build techniques. It's built on a standard 32 by 32 base plate, and I like that it's a corner building, I especially like the way this angled corner is built. It already meets the standards for a modular building, and it has the normal pavement or sidewalk that you would find on a standard modular building on two sides. Although it's a bit of a hybrid, as it tries to be a corner modular building and has the modular connection points in one side of the building, but the ones at the back are not part of the building itself, and they're contained in these boxes in the alley down the back. So in many ways it's a modular building. It's just badged under the Marvel theme rather than the Creator theme. One of the main features of the building is the mansard roof. That's the top floor built into the angled roof with the windows set into it. And of course this set has the very distinctive feature window from the building in the DC Universe films. So in many ways it's a modular building. It's just badged under the Marvel theme rather than the Creator theme. However, in my previous video about this building, we considered where we might be able to make changes or improvements. This building is very distinctive and easily recognisable, and I've noticed this set in lots of people's Lego cities, as it's very easy to spot, especially with the large round window in the centre of the sand green mansard roof. But of course this building is directly related to the Sanctum Sanctorum building in the Marvel series of movies, the home of Doctor Strange. Now, I don't have superheroes in my city, so I want to de-Marvelify the building. In other words, to make it into an ordinary city building without being the Sanctum Sanctorum itself. We previously looked at ways we could modify this building, and there's a video on this channel which looks at those possibilities. They were definitely worth thinking about, but that doesn't mean that I want to implement all of them. In fact, I think some of them would be quite difficult to do and not necessarily appropriate for my Lego city. So here's a quick summary of what we looked at before, and I'm going to consider whether I'm going to attempt them in this mock. So the first idea was to increase the size of the building. This could be as simple as making a mirror image of the building and adding it on the side, although then you'd have two main entrances at the front and other issues. Or we could double the size of most of the features, like the windows, resulting in a building that's just about twice as big. Whilst this approach would make an impressive building, almost as big as my town hall mock, I think it would be rather large and dominating in my current city. I do like the building, but I'm just not that much of a Marvel fan that I'm desperate for a much larger sanctum. The next thing we looked at was removing the alley at the back of the building. That would mean extending the side of the building so that there wasn't an alley at the back. That could make the building into a proper corner modular building with the connection points at the back wall of the building. I rather like this idea, and I may consider it in the future. But at the moment, this would be rather awkward where the building is positioned right now, as it would mean losing some of this square. So I'll keep this idea on the back burner for now. Another idea we had was to add another internal floor to the building. As I've commented before, this building has a strange mismatch of scale between the inside and the outside. On the inside, there's essentially just one room per floor, but on the outside, the middle level appears to be 2 floors with 2 sets of windows. That's been rather cleverly done by the Lego designers to fit the rather large original building, which takes nearly a whole city block, and squish it down into a modular sized building. I don't think I'm going to be able to resolve that difference in scale completely without making this into a much larger building again, but it should be possible to split that middle level of the building into 2 separate floors, each with 1 row of windows. That might make the building a bit taller without destroying the proportions completely, and it would give a lot more internal space to the building. I think this is something that's definitely worth trying. Now let's look at what we could do to remove the associations with the Marvel Universe. I'm going to call this process desanctification. In other words, change the building to a classical style townhouse with a nice mansard roof. That will give us the chance to think again about what this building actually is and redefine the concept of the building. We would need to remove or change some of the Marvel-specific features of the building, such as removing the feature window in the roof and perhaps replacing it with more dormer windows. Looking at the strange portal thing at the back of the building, and maybe use that space where the chained up book is for something else. We definitely want to remove the feature with the interdimensional monster appearing out of one of the walls, and we wouldn't need the feature of the internal door with the changing destinations behind it. Of course, if we're mocking this building, we have the freedom to modify the rest of the interior if we want to. So all these changes to desanctify the building are definitely on the agenda. So that's a quick look at how I want to modify this set. I really enjoyed constructing this set according to the instructions, so that I'm familiar with all the parts of the set and the way it's put together. And now I've been able to consider the different options for modifying the set. I still think it's a great building, and as a traditional style city mansion, I think it easily deserves a place in my Lego city. I already made some minor changes to the set as part of the recent improvements to the city layout. Those included removing the dumpster from the alley and moving the newspaper box to a position on the corner of the building so that the alley down the side of the building is clear. and I changed the paving at the back of the building so that the back is fully paved, and I used a pattern of paving that matches up with the adjacent square in my Lego city. And of course you can see here that I added a city map and a red telephone kiosk at the back of the building. So now we've thought about how we want to change this building. In the next video we'll be working out some of those changes in detail and making a start on modifying the building. Thanks for watching. Please press the like button if you liked this video. Hit the bell to be informed of any updates. Look out for videos about those modifications, and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos about this project, other MOCs and further developments in my Lego city.